No, Natalie Webster came up with an idea, or she got it from someone in Chicago, because she's in Chicago today. She said, how much in debt are you? It's one of those questions you can ask the Scientology people. That's actually really interesting. How much in debt are you? So, it's blank. Did they see me setting up? Possibly I was across the street petting a doodle. They're so adorable when they're puppies. So, they could have heard my voice. Not that I think my voice sticks out, but maybe they're in some kind of meeting because, you know, the door is open. They have a new way of zooming, so... Oh, somebody's in the back. They can see me. Let's see. Anything there? Anything there? Okay, I'm not amused with my new screen. I do understand it's a privacy screen, but I need to get a matte privacy screen because all I see is my reflection. It's boring. Boring. Let's see. Back down to weakness. It says. So then we have the fake cross, the blasphemy, if you ask any real Christian. And see if I can get that in. There we go. Oh, it's like it just sneaks up San Francisco. And nobody's here. It's so weird. I mean, I know we are good and friendly and try not to beat each other up and steal their toys, but nobody's here. Except, wait a minute. Who do I see? I see a head. I see sort of a face, and it's a new way to zoom, and I only get to zoom that much. How boring. So, I got a cat, a stand, not in the way. Okay, let's see. If somebody will ask me, I will explain. This is a cult. And any native in San Francisco doesn't like a cult. Because cults to us equal dead people. Really, really does. They called... Hello, plaque. They called the Masons. Oh, I'm so sorry, Masons. They called the Mansons a cult. And no, that was just a cult of personality. Big deal. Very different. So, Jonestown was a real cult. And there's a memorial in Oakland to prove it. Just letting everybody know I'm here. Hi, yes, I'm here. I'm wearing my leopard for DOA. And his chalk on the streets in front of the trash can is awesome. Been watching that. Watching and knitting. I was making a scarf I wanted to wear today. I'm late. And I didn't, I finished it and the border was bad. So I pulled it out and started a new border. And then started watching LA to see what they were up to. And maybe I just should talk about it really slightly loud so I can project. Because I know how to talk in this place. I'm used to talking over cars and people. And the hubby calls it the slightly, yes, I know, look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing 2 types of leopard. And that's because it's a 2-type of leopard day. So there. And I'm wearing, you can see it. Let's see.
Fluffer Squirrel UK is on.
Okay, cool. Hi, Fluffer Squirrel. You're my favorite person. Hold this, bodyguard. I'm going to show them the universe. I have the universe that was around Orion's belt. The jeweler was from Marin. And I saw it on Etsy and jumped like a mofo. So she made me one. The one in the movie has onyx around it. This one is a lapis. So I literally have the universe. So I can go in there and tell them, Xenu's in this. What are they going to do? It's mine. How much do you want to give me to get Xenu? Anyway, besides I'll say 11. That's what Davey said. So, did you like that posturing? I win. So, I'm a glitchy and freezing chat. The bodyguard's supposed to be watching it.
Could be their end.
I doubt it. If Fro's here before.
It's okay from here.
You know, maybe my phone's not powerful enough. That's going to be my new thing now. Maybe my phone's not powerful enough. I can hear my relative who bought me the last one going, "Really, child? Is there anybody there?" Yes, because this is a different address. This is a different thing. This is supposed to be... sorry, I know when people do that on my huge television, drives me crazy. This is supposed to be like some kind of education center or something. I went looking for it when the Chinese New Year parade was going to happen, because this was a staging area for the parade. And I looked at it, and I looked at the address and went, oh, that's right around the corner. That's literally the same building. So when I walk up and down the same building, it is the same building. It's not two separate things. I guess when you have two separate entrances, no, I know what it is. When you have two separate addresses, so the front has the, this one has the Columbia address and the other one has the Montgomery address. So they can operate as two separate offices. And they do. They have business names for two separate offices. So I always wonder what they're doing in that light. I'm sure I'll find out. See, you can't see it. All you see is reflection. There's a light right there. If you look at it's reflected. If you look at the building about 3-4 stories up, you'll see a light, and see I can move it. So I wonder what they're doing. I don't know. I hear a helicopter. This is San Francisco. We don't waste our time with helicopters. LA's the helicopter side, not us. So, ooh, it's getting chilly here. So, keep walking down the street. Oh, it is? That sucks. Clover said it's across
all over YouTube, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just us. Oh well. I'm sort of getting used to not being mad at them, because I actually do watch my own feeds. And that's because it doesn't look or sound like me. So I'm watching someone on TV. I teased and said to the husband yesterday, I'd watch her, because it just doesn't, it isn't me. It's weird. I disengaged myself from like looking longer in the mirror than I had to. I don't take a lot of pictures. I just don't find myself interesting. So having myself on the screen is darn interesting. Did anybody see anything in there? Ooh, I think I see a... Oh, wow. I gotta come here on a really dark day or come at night. Oh, did not think of that. We have to come in the evening. Tomorrow?
What?
Come in the evening. Hi, baby. How are you? Hey, you don't need to know where it's been. Sorry. Thank you. I always, most of the time I ask if they don't stick their nose in my butt. But I always thank people who let me pet their puppies. Puppies love me. It's very weird. So, but yeah, he walked up and stuck his nose in my butt, and I was like, hey, you don't need to know where I've been. So, I assure people, it's like, I don't react like the average person at all. I don't cringe. I don't walk away. When they bark, I'm like, do you have to be that loud? You know, I don't respond correctly. So, this is the last time I had a transmission problem the other day. And they still keep the door open. They're up to something. I wish I knew what. I mean, with Aaron's new talk about the great real estate swindle that's going on, we're just buying up the buildings to park the money and accruing interest off the money they get from the whales you figure that they just sell them. How could it be humiliating to sell a building that just never went through? If you're that tight in your ego, it's got to be really weird in there. So I've been agreeing with him. And then he was talking about some guy in Austin who put out a complaint opinion letter about the people yelling at the Austin opening. You know, good old American First Amendment protest. And then went into like the legacy of the family. God, that was disgusting. So then we've got, you know, more showing of how twisted this whole thing is. That's what, if you ask me, is massively twisted. If I was them, I'd sell all the buildings that haven't been worked on, and just leave it. If you don't acknowledge it, no one's going to pay attention. That's the point. Just don't acknowledge it and it will go away. Isn't that really weird? Humans can't, though. Humans, the minute you start showing their inequities or fails or anything else, they just get wound up and start just spinning around like little tornadoes going, I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong, I have not failed. That's how you expand in life, people, is by failing. You know that. It's how you expand your horizons, is by failing and learning, and, you know, learn from what you have failed on. If you ask me, life is just a way to improve yourself by your mistakes. I think every mistake I've ever made, I've improved myself. It's not that hard. All you have to do is just not be humiliated by it. Humiliation's made up emotion, if you ask me. My opinion, remember, all of this is my opinion. Humiliation is something that was made by, I don't know who, people who didn't want other people to absorb their mistakes. I mean, in all the history I've ever read, and all of the shows and history channels and things that I've seen, everything has gotten super complicated by humiliation. So I'm sure there's some leader somewhere who took his humiliation and did not bothering sticking his sword in his stomach or dying by fire or war. You know, war is one of the stupidest things we have, but, you know, they won't let women run the world. So, yes, I'm one of those. You let women run the world, men would be in the closet where they belong. No, that's wrong. Men would have to confront or consult with us before they could go do something stupid. That sounds not right either. Anyway, I think that if women ran the world, it would be a nice and quiet one. There is a reason I'm talking like this, and you'll see later. So, humiliation is a whole emotion that is trumped up and seems to have been put down a volcano and exploded because it's ridiculous. There's no reason to feel humiliation. I think the humiliation will be when, you know, certain places go completely and utterly bankrupt and have to unhouse thousands of people, if it's true, because they'll lose everything they have. Maybe all at once, who knows? I mean, the latest, or the one I heard a couple of months ago, was RICO. So RICO would be an interesting charge, don't you think? It's one of the ones that makes sense. It's just hard to understand. And I know Osa hears me right now. Anyway, it's getting boring standing here. Oh my God, I think they might put the curtains up on me. They're gonna put they're putting chairs up for me. How weird. Seriously, look, they're putting chairs up for me. Can't they close the door? Maybe they're not allowed to close the door anymore. Oh. Oh. I don't have any money. Do you have any money? They usually don't tip. It's a small tip, but at least it's a tip. So hopefully they do. It would be nice. I almost forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say, how in debt are you? That's what I was going to say. Excuse me. Did they tip you?
Huh?
Did they tip you?
Tip?
Yeah, what did you tip?
Oh, thank you.
It was only $5, but no, they didn't tip them. What would you expect? So,
I'm so confused.
I know.
Okay.
And security guards at the trash can that make $100,000 a year in your dreams. I'm sorry, but no, this is where I have to walk away while they're working on the door. It's not really interesting. And look at the garbage. We're looking at Scientology garbage again. The husband was talking about the cardboard because you can use them for records to make them stiff enough to mail. Because we're selling off my dad's old record collection. He doesn't want it anymore. Yeah, security guards. They were talking to the security guard at the trash can last night. He said to me at $100,000 a year. In what world does that man make $100,000 a year? I have known security guards for ages, and restaurants are slightly lower on the food chain than nightclubs. Unless it would have been owned by a famous person, like a Baldwin or something. Maybe somebody should take a look at that. Then it might be really security guarded. Not $100,000, that's for sure. I don't think LA's that weird. Let's look at my baby. I love my pyramid. I have always loved my pyramid, ever since I was little. And in Christmas, they put a laser on top of it. You can see it everywhere. It's very neat. So, yeah, him saying $100,000 was just fluey. But he seems to be warming up. Poor Osa. See, these people have got their noses to the grindstone, so they're trying as hard as they can. And yeah, I don't think they can close the door. That's really twisted. We should definitely get people out here to start talking more about what's good and what's bad. Maybe they'll listen. You know, hold on. Let me go to the other side because it'll ricochet. That'll be good. So, you know, the quote-unquote usual, which is rather sad. Doesn't your family miss you? How in debt are you? Is he security or police?
Security.
He's just regular security? So there are a bunch of spaces open here today. And we were just wondering, how in the heck did that happen? And they pretty much stayed open until just now somebody parked there and a security guy, not a cop, a security guy came down and like tried to talk to him. Up here that stuff doesn't work. That'd be, that's nice, please get out of my way. That's why we got to park really easily. Anyway, so the questions are, don't you miss your family? Is the most important person in your family in Scientology too? If not, how hard was it to let go? Do you think about them all the time? Do you wish you could talk to them? Do you wish you weren't told what to read? Natalie Webster said, and most of them have said too, that it was like you didn't think about reading these other things. We are not evil. We are compassionate, caring people who care more for you than the society you belong to. We don't think that enough money to barely get coffee should get you through your day. Don't you wish you had a higher education? And I just mean high school. Don't you wish you knew more about how to get into these people's heads who are supposed to be evil? You can't clear the planet if you don't understand the planet. Is someone telling you how to understand the planet? Is someone giving you tips on how to converse with these people? Because you've got something to do with everything going on, and you're not doing it well, because all you seem to be doing is making enemies. So should women go outside and fix power lines when it's snowing and the power went out? Yeah, and? That's an interesting question. Whatever. See if you can pick them off. What else? When was the last time you saw the person you had to disconnect from? Thank you, Claim. Leave it alone. Have you ever talked to someone without trying to change their life lately? Especially here. You can come up and start talking to somebody here as long as you make eye contact. We're pretty nice up here. Hell, I'd talk to you if you came out here. And start out with hi, not arr. Hi. How are you? It's so weird. Do you know that they were nicer from Jonestown? You're not going to win any people over by ignoring them. And you figure you'd start with us, the agitators, because if you get us on your side, then we'd help get more people on your side. You're not going to get us on your side, but you can always try. Isn't optimism supposed to be some way to clear the world? Look at the phrase I just learned. No, look at the phrase I finally realized where it went. Because unfortunately your society sort of confuses me more than the Masons or the Illuminati ever did. That's creepy. Are you still hiring? I wonder. Let's see. Do you miss the person you disconnected from? Do they miss you? Do you get upset when you smoke pot? I'm sorry. Do you get upset when you smell pot outside of your building? We smell it, so I'm sure you do. The wind in San Francisco just twirls a lot. You can take pictures of it in Embarcadero Center. Have you written a letter to anybody today? Even in your society, have you read a letter to anyone in your society? Are you friends? Do you talk about things like what you're having for dinner and why don't I have enough money for a new outfit? Can you talk about things like that? Do you have any real friends? Are you going to have any friends when all of this is over? We'll take you back. I mean, that's the way we're programmed. We will help to make you integrate into the rest of the world because that's the way the rest of the world should be. Taking everybody's money and messing with their head and confusing it, I'm sure, because I've even read a couple of things and it's just like, wow, I can read Shakespeare. This is ridiculous. can always ask, do you miss your mother? Do you miss your father? Does your father or mother miss you? When was the last time you saw your favorite cousin? When was the last time you saw your best friend in high school? Will you go to your high school reunion if you have one? Will you regret not going to your high school reunion if you have one? Don't you wonder what those people are like? Because you can't clear the world all the time. 23, 30. 30 minutes a day you should be allowed to think about the people outside. Because shouldn't you be trying to fix the people that are the closest to you and circle out from there? You make a little map, and when it doesn't work, just sort of cross them off. But that way you can go through your whole circle of your closest friends and go out farther and farther. So don't you miss wanting to get in contact with your closest friends? No matter how hard you think you're involved in this society. It makes me sad. Just to think that, the little zombies think they're clearing the world, and they won't. If some scary guy with a mustache didn't, these guys aren't going to do it. Your friends and family miss you. Are you bankrupt yet? How far in debt are you? Will you ever climb out of your debt? Do you like spending all that money on something that you don't really have a hand in? Do you like following orders for someone who you give all your money to? It doesn't seem natural. It's like usually if you're following orders, you're giving, or if they're following orders, you're giving them money to do that. Do you miss your family? It's questions that just need to keep getting asked here. Those look like lawyers. They don't have the gold. Sorry, breaking. They'd have gold backs on their liveries. So this is a lawyer sort of area.
Yeah.
With the Aliotos, old family in San Francisco. Don't you wish you didn't have to have 2 or 3 jobs to live here? Don't you wish you didn't have to commute 2 hours to get here every day? Don't you wish you had your own room? Maybe there's something going on and you can't close that door. Isn't it expensive to pay for this? At this point, since you haven't gone up in the world, you could have bought a car. You could have bought a nice wardrobe to have a good job. Wouldn't you rather have a job helping poor children or helping the elderly instead of having to watch them do things? How do you feel about the elderly being pushed a little bit more than they should be? I hope all of this stuck in your head, because I know you can hear me because I'm talking to an open window door glass, and I know it's bouncing out in there. So I'm sorry, unfortunately, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm a native of this area, so it's not as easy as Los Angeles. Everybody's not from there. So I hope you have a contemplative night and maybe wake up to something new. Good night. Bye, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.